Hello and welcome to a vehicle which just goes to show that you no longer need to choose between the idea of a practical, economical daily runabout or a 4x4 with extra safety, extra height, extra road clearance, of course extra space for luggage, headroom, passengers, etc., and greater road presence as well. Because a car like this actually has both. And not only does it have both, it has both in plentiful quantities, because this is of course a 2009 Audi Q5, in particular an S-Line Quattro. So of course you have four-wheel drive as well, something which more 4x4s than you would think actually don't have these days, and for the price tag of under £8,000, you would assume that the mileage must be very high. It isn't though. This car has in fact covered 17,000 less miles than the average for one of these from this particular year on the market, and that is not bad at all, especially if you plan to use it regularly as a family car or a daily driver. Now, as you would hope, it has a full service history behind it with its two original keys intact, and one of the very interesting things about this, which really goes to show the efficiency that Audi put on display here, is that 2-litre TFSI engine. Because for those who are less familiar with that, that means it's actually a petrol model, and typically the idea of combining a 4x4 with a petrol engine doesn't exactly seem like it would be the right way to go for fuel economy and for running costs. But here it actually is, because these can average up to 33 miles to the gallon, and on a motorway run a hair under 40. That is not bad at all for a four-wheel drive petrol car with 200 horsepower and 260 foot-pounds of torque. Performance is not lacking, of course space is plentiful, but at the same time the Q5 really is one of those 4x4s which pivots perfectly on the point between having justifiably more size, more space, and more road presence, without tipping over the edge to being too large, too cumbersome, too difficult to park, or too awkward in a city, and of course with the usual drop in fuel economy that would mean. It really is a best of both worlds kind of 4x4. And the real cherry on the cake here is that despite being a 4x4, in some cases this is not far off half the price of some other larger 4x4s at executive or luxury vehicles in terms of yearly road tax. Overall then, if you are looking for a practical, great looking, great driving family all-rounder, and certainly for under £8,000, this is a wonderful amount of car for that price point, with a great history behind it, excellent mileage, a lovely spec, and it drives beautifully. So of course, if you would like to reach out regarding this car, of course you could send us an email to the address shown here on screen, or of course give us a call on 01749 871 155, or alternately on our mobile number of 07482 267 439.